For those people working with professional and elite voice users, what level of expertise or qualification would you expect them to have if we're undertaking myofascial release with their clients?
May I start?
You may start.
When you qualify as a massage therapist, and unfortunately in this country massage therapy is unregulated, so we're relying on practitioners reading, researching, attending courses in CPD. We're relying on them broadening their horizons, maybe learning acupuncture, and then deciding what works for them or what doesn't. But building a bigger map of the body than their first training. When are we ever ready to do anything, right? Philosophically, when am I ready? When are we? What does that mean? When are we ready? What I think is important is that if you approach with care, nobody can ever say that you're not doing anything helpful, rather than pushing the boat out and going to click somebody's C-spine when you haven't trained in it and you're not insured in it. And then we start looking at it and going, well, that's a massive ethical issue. In terms of working with elite and professional voice users, I think what's important is that there's a rapport that, you're qualified, first of all, you have a qualification, you have insurance, you understand anatomy and physiology, and that can be to varying degrees. I think it's important that we know anatomy and physiology, but in terms of the style of engagement that we both seem to do, that actually we're not palpating or focusing or fixating, I think is more the thing, on any one muscle or nerve or anything. And so you need to have a successful rapport with this client in front of you, this elite professional, and they have to trust that your hands are going to do good work.
Yeah, how quickly should you start? If you've already have a caseload of existing elite singers, start adding a manual therapy type of evaluation and treatment engagement immediately. I don't view this for the most part as a standalone miracle. It's just one of many things that you can, the overused analogy of adding something to your tool belt, it's a decent way to look at it, but I can't help everybody, but maybe with different options I can help more people. I would strongly encourage a therapist who's taking training from me, for instance, if they're already working with that elite athlete or vocal athlete, start using it immediately. And we're not doing aggressive work. The chance, there's always risk. Everything you and I do for a living carries risk, right? They walk in the room, there's real and implied risk and potential risk anytime risks, right? So we maximize our safety by educating ourselves. We maximize our safety by communicating with the patient and not just getting feedback, and this is crucial in my approach, but demanding feedback. I don't want somebody to lay on my table and expect me to fix them, right? I need you to be an active participant, and that's what I teach therapists when they take my training is this has to be a partnership, and that increases, to me, it makes it completely safe, or almost completely safe. Nothing is completely safe. So how long do you wait? Don't wait. Start.
Nice.
How can myofascial release techniques improve the singing voice?
Well. Multitude of ways. But do I think that the myofascial release itself is the key component? Not necessarily. I think that singers who end up in my clinic who have a disorder or dysfunction or fatigue are often sorting out a lot of bits and bobs in their life, right? So they're starting to put a self-care regime together because they've realised that they've burnt out. So they might be taking more singing lessons. They're coming to me for sessions. They're seeing an osteopath, or they've got this little pain in their hip that they've had for years and just dealt with because, and now they've crashed and gone, maybe I need to sort this out. So I think it's hard for me to say in terms of the improvement of the singing voice in that context. However, in a perfectly healthy performer, I think it creates a sense of freedom and mobility that isn't otherwise always there. I think it creates a more constant freedom.
Yeah, yeah. To get to the question, how does it improve the singing voice? Which way do you want to answer the question? If you want to say, oh, it's because the muscle or the fascia is too tight, then you answer the question from how does it improve it? Well, you reduce the tension, therefore it improves. And I can't say that the work that I'm doing and that I'm teaching isn't having tissue-specific effect, whether it's the tissue right here or the brain down regulating the change, right? Yeah. Something is influencing muscle tension, which has an effect on vocal tone and vocal strain and vocal patterns, right? How does it, the whole goal of everything we do, including the manual therapy, myofascial release, is to improve voice, improve endurance, and that can come from diaphragm up, it can be local, it can be regional. With my singers, and again, I don't work with as many as you do, but we tend to spend a lot of time with the general hiatal region work, retrolaryngeal. It's about, to me, bringing awareness to that area. And there's all sorts of sayings that revolve around without awareness there's no choice, right? So when we move in there with a slow graded touch and we bring the person to a place of remembering that, oh yeah, that's that feeling, you replicated that feeling, or maybe you calmed it, but something you're doing right now is relevant to that reason why I'm here to see you, that vocal fatigue at the end of a performance. And at its simplest way to phrase this, you and I I'm stretching people. I don't know what you're doing exactly, right? But I mean,
it's all magic.
Yeah, yeah. It's voodoo on me. Yeah. But we're stretching them. At least you put a word into their mind. In essence, what are you doing? Well, we're stretching something that's tight. What's tight and what's being stretched, that's a whole other conversation, right? But give them that packageable piece of information to say, maybe the strain has to do with too much tightness. Can we make you less tight in a way that lasts, right? I both through my own work as well as that ripple effect through SLPs and vocal coaches that I've worked with, and they're working with some pretty elite level vocal athletes. I love that term, vocal athlete, right? Because it really is an athlete that's not thought of in the traditional way. That it's nice to see the work being spread and to have that little piece of maybe my part of it in the whole thing.
Yeah.